Hello, hello, hello. I am so happy to see you again. Thank you for coming. I'm here with your Tarotscopes for the month of July. You should apply these to your sun, moon, and rising, or any other placement in your chart that you are paying close attention to right about now. If you have not already, make sure that you have subscribed to my channel. Make sure that your notifications are turned on so that you get these every month or every other week or whenever I put out other things, but especially for these monthly Tarotscopes. Like this video, comment on it. If you got something to say, share it far and wide with anyone you think may be of benefit. I have been on more than a little bit of a break lately. You know how I ask you every time I see you how you're feeling. How is your head? How is your heart? And how is your body? How are these things? Well, I've been on a little bit of a break, more than a little bit of a break, a lot of a break, because I realize what is all of that for if I'm also not making the time to ask myself those questions and in turn make the time and space to try to give to myself whatever it is that I need in response to those questions, or make the effort to find it if I don't already possess it. So that's what I've been doing. I've been making a lot of time for rest and quiet, regeneration, making time and space for the grief that I've been experiencing in my personal life, and just letting that unfold out of my body so that it doesn't store in my body. Now, what's really important: how are you feeling? How is your mind? How is your heart? Your beautiful, perfect heart. How is your body feeling? I hope that you are well. I hope that you are held. And I hope that if you are not those things, that together, one way or another, we can find a way to get you to that place. Hello. Hello, hello. I am here with July's Tarotscope for Virgo. This is for your sun, moon, and rising, or any other placement that you are paying close attention to at this time. Hey, sweetie pie. Why am I saying that? Okay. Why am I, when I look at this, I just immediately feel like soft and tender. This is major. This is major. And I don't remember exactly what we pulled for June for you, but I really feel like I can remember enough of a thread to make this make sense. Anyway, let's look at what we got. It really felt like whatever we pulled for you for June was really on some turning point shit, and this month is kind of like no exception, but in an advanced stage of turning point. We have a 9 of Swords, we have the Devil, and we have Strength. We are looking at, clearly, major opportunity, and I use that word fully aware of how annoying that could be, to use that word. We are looking at a very powerful opportunity, so says Strength here. Let's look at it. It's so beautiful. We are looking at a very powerful opportunity for you to make a different kind of decision as it concerns your relationship to depression, anxiety, addictive relationships and habits. It's really interesting that the way that these came out, the placement of these, and I should say in what order these came out. We have, first of all, we're looking at like, damn, a Knight of Swords. So let's look at this. I think we've talked about it as a unit, as a group, as a relationship before. Let's talk about this really quickly. A Nine of Swords here. So in Menzel's illustration, we can see that these gilded swords are okay, let's look at it two ways. Gilded swords perhaps representing the oppression of the mind, anxiety, depression, fear, right? And how they are on top of, coming down on top of this individual. Or we could look at this from the perspective that these swords are actually in the background. And in the way that Menzel, the maker of this deck, Menzel Bowman is their name. The way that Menzel Bowman has illustrated this is that they are behind this person. And so it's not as though fear, anxiety, depression, or any kind of mania, because they show me this picture of like a very fast moving array of emotions. It's not just that the wheels are turning in these ways, it's that they're turning very quickly, like mania. We can see that the way that this is illustrated is that these things may be present, but they are in the background. And in the lap of this individual, it looks like a couple of different things. I've really not so much been able to place for real, like what I'm identifying or what I'm trying to identify in this person's lap. And I'm leaving that on purpose. Maybe I could look it up on the internet, but I like to do it this way. So to me, this looks like either a palette with paint on it, or a palette with paint on it. A palette with paint on it, or some sort of device, some sort of stringing device, because in the background, in between the individual and the swords, looks like a bow. It is a bow, right? As in a bow, an arrow. There's a bow right there. So this is either some sort of stringing device with which to further utilize the bow, or it is a palette of paints. Either way, let me just get to the fucking point. Either way, we are looking at, despite the presence of these things, fear, anxiety, depression, disappointment, whatever, right? Despite that, there is choice. There is opportunity to not fully engage with those things, and to try as best you can to focus instead on what is right in your lap. Tools, whether they be paints or stringing devices for the bow, right? In Pamela Coleman Smith's illustration, the very commonly used Smith Rider-Waite deck, Miss Smith illustrated it as a person in bed, sitting up in bed with their eyes covered, and the blanket, sitting up in bed with their eyes covered, and these 9 swords are coming down, right? And their eyes are covered, but directly beneath their covered eyes is this very colorful, abundant, fruitful blanket. There are camellia flowers there, which signify a lot of things. That's another video. There's also pomegranates on the quilt. It's very colorful. It's abundant, it's fruitful, despite the circumstances around the little deaths that are occurring, as represented perhaps by camellia. Anyway, in either of these illustrations, it is important to note that either of these illustrations are done by a person of color, a Black individual. Menzel Bowman is a Black man, a man of color, and Pamela Coleman Smith was a woman of color, a Black woman. Why am I saying that? I don't know. Any plug to really support and reinvest in the works of the Black community. Any way beyond that to pay reparations to the Black community is fucking necessary. Anyway, sorry. So that aside, so either way, the fact that this comes out first, this 9 of Swords, and also we're at the 10-minute mark, babe, Michael. So if you want to take out the shout out to the 2 people of color, take it out. It's fine. So back to the sequence of cards. So the fact that this comes out first, right? This comes out first to say, hey, they acknowledge that this is very present for you for the month of July. And we also acknowledge how hard, second card out, we also acknowledge how hard it might feel to really to really box your way out of this. Because of the wildly heavy pull towards comfort, the wildly heavy pull towards addictive habits, tendencies, addictive relationships. We acknowledge how hard this might be, but we call your attention back to the tools that are in the lap of this first individual. And there in the lap of these tools, or the tools in the lap, lies strength. And now let's bookend this by really lastly and most importantly looking at the strength card. In any sort of divinatory message that I could offer you, I want to say there's almost always going to be an opportunity for you to create alchemy through it somehow. But this message for you, dear beloved Virgo, for this month, really, really, really drives that reality home. The fact that these challenges are present for you this month, but also present for you this month in the Strength card here, in the Strength card, is a very, very real well of resource for you to make a different decision on a pathway that you've been on for what feels like a while. And not for nothing, but this feels, again, I've used the word major enough, and I'll use it again. Fuck it, I don't care. This feels major enough because of this major arcana. This feels major enough also because of the way that they show this to me, and that this could really, really be a turning point in your life. And that, like, you know, not to be unnecessarily hyperbolic, but like really for once and for all in your life, this could really change things in this area for you. Change things in terms of not just your relationship with fear, anxiety, disappointment, grief, you know, not just change things, but it could really make or break once and for all, like the sheer presence of those things and how you cope with those things in an addictive way at all. You know, this could really mean this month and how you stand to really make moves for yourself, this could really mean the eradication of some of this stuff once and for all. This is big. This could be seen as heavy, but to me, really and truly, like, this looks important. This looks important and wildly hopeful. Wildly hopeful. Strength once again comes to say that, you know, is it going to be easy? Maybe not. Do you have it in you? 100% yes. Do you have it in you, and are you going to have to like reach down into the depths of your strength or your network of friends or whatever? No. It's actually right there on the skimmable surface for you. So it might not be easy, but it's like super fucking possible. And just like the batch of tools in this person's lap, it's right there available for you. Again, this is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Use it in the best health possible. I hope that this message serves you to the highest capacity that you need it for. Again, you can apply this message to your Sun, Moon, Rising, or any other position in your chart that you are paying close attention to. And last but not least, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do. Turn on your notifications so that you get these monthly Tarotscopes and any other video that I might put out, making magic or discussing cool things with you. Like this video, comment on it, and share it far and wide wherever you think it may be of benefit. Merry meet, merry part, merry, may we meet again. Mwah.